Everyone, thank you for joining us for our capstone presentation. I'm Karen Abramowitz, and these are my teammates, Ashley Riccardi, Patrice Mardo, and Peggy Rezis, and we are very excited to introduce Bonbon. Bonbon is a photo visualization tool for the modern-day explorer. Bonbon fetches photos from Flickr and Twitter, and based on a user's chosen search term, location, and time frame, and plots them on a map in a Voronoi diagram. Bonbon was inspired by our shared love of traveling, photography, and just discovering new things. And we wanted to incorporate these interests as we showcased our skills, old and new. We wanted our app to feel like a treat, fun and sweet, hence the name Bonbon. Now Ashley's going to give you a walkthrough of the app.
So when you open the app, you're prompted to enter a search term, which by default will query for photos around your current location. Once it grabs the photos, it'll plot them on a map Voronoi style based on the location at which they were taken. You can explore other areas by filling out the search location box, and you can also adjust the span of time from which you would like to see photos. If something catches your eye, you can click on it to view the full image, link to the source, and the approximate address at which the photo was taken. Bonbon is also mobile ready. If you're at a loss for what to search for, you can always view any given area's most popular photo tags to get some inspiration. And if a photo or a place is particularly pretty, you can send it to a friend via text or email. And now Patrice is going to talk about Voronoi diagrams and the technologies we used.
As Ashley mentioned, we use a Voronoi diagram to display our images. As you can see in the animation behind me, a Voronoi diagram is basically a method for splitting space between coordinate points. To create the Voronoi diagram, we used Fortune's algorithm and D3 along with several different technologies. In particular, D3 stood out to us because it allowed us to manipulate data on the DOM while also differentiating itself from other libraries because it allowed us to dynamically bind data and images while also allowing us to abstract Fortune's algorithm. Getting there. Finally, we have our layers of Bonbon, starting with a leaflet map layer, following a Voronoi skeleton, which was created with D3, SVG, and data pulled from MapQuest, Twitter, and Flickr. And then we have our image fill, our color fill, and finally a GeoJSON water layer.
For our front-end framework, we decided to use React. Why React? Well, we wanted to round out our knowledge of JavaScript front-end frameworks by learning something that we all were curious about. Also, we were concerned about performance since our app has many complex layers that need to re-render after receiving new data. React is extremely performant because it uses a virtual representation of the DOM and a diffing algorithm to calculate the fastest way to update components. Our biggest challenge by far was integrating React with D3. By nature, these frameworks are very different. In React, data is transferred one direction from parent to child in a virtual DOM, whereas in D3, data is bound directly to the actual DOM. We also encountered additional roadblocks with integrating GeoJSON elements and syncing the layers when they zoom together in the map. But we rose to the challenge. We overcame these obstacles by carefully utilizing React's lifecycle methods to receive new data from the server, set state, and then update the map based on one function that held all of our D3 logic. Here you can see an example of React in action. When the user pans away from the current viewport of the map, the virtual DOM only renders the portions that were not in view before. This is much more performant than rendering the entire map over again. On behalf of myself, Patrice, Karen, and Ashley, thank you so much for attending today. We are all so grateful for the opportunity to share our passions with you. And if you want to get your Bonbon on, come check us out on web and mobile at trybonbon.com. Thank you.